What's up, y'all? Good evening, Michelle. How are you? Hope everybody's doing all right this evening. I will be doing a little sketching around, that's all. I don't know if y'all seen my message, but I was saying my daughter is in town and she's getting ready to head out to Korea in a few days. So just hanging out with her and try and get on here real quick and do some sketching for y'all. I didn't come in last week, just had some stuff going on. So what's up? What's up, Sean? Doing well so far. That's good. I hope everybody else is doing well. It's getting kind of hectic back out there again, so be safe if you got to go out there and wear a mask. Come straight home, wash your hands, man. So I started this piece a couple days ago, and it is, I seen the cover of this book, Shadows of Ivory, and had a king looking skeleton dude, and I just thought that was so dope, so I just wanted to draw it. And as you can see, let's see what I got on the screen over here. I'll zoom in a little bit. So it's on 11 by 17 paper, and I got most of it blocked out. So like I've been showing, I start with the oval, and in the actual picture, it looks to be very symmetrical. So I kind of just drew a line down the middle here and just started making sure everything was kind of equally portionate on each side. And yeah, that's kind of where I left off at. I didn't do too much. There's some stuff up here that I don't know if I'm too happy with right now, so I'll probably do a little changing around here. I don't think his cloak is tall enough. It might be. Maybe I can push it down because I like the way this crown is going right now, and I think it's at the right height, because if I go any further up, it's going to go off the page up here. So I think I'll push it down just a little bit to pull. This, I think, needs to be a little longer, probably to about like right here. And so it'll be the same here. And like I said, I put a line down the middle, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it to see how far. I guess I could do like a ruler and make sure I got each side of it, the actual distance. But I think when I was in school, we were taught that even though things look symmetrical, and this is just like organic stuff, people, bodies, although it looks the same on each side, there's a slight difference on each side. So even though his eyes look like they're, equally distanced apart here, this eye may be up just a little bit more, because I mean, that's the way the human body is. It's not perfect, because then it would look weird. So some of this stuff I will leave as I keep going through this and making sure stuff is not perfectly balanced on each side. So yeah, I hope everybody's doing all right this evening. Not a whole lot going on. Trying to figure out new scheduling and stuff. So they closed the tattoo shop again, and now we're gonna have to reschedule people again, try and fit them around the schedule. It's just Corona is such a pain. But I believe we'll get through it. So. And I'm still kind of just blocking out stuff right now. Very light. Again, I am holding the pencil kind of way back here so I don't press too hard. Just blocking in shadows and stuff like that. And if I know like it's pretty much right where I want it, I'll add a little shadow in just to help me visualize what's happening here. Kind of like what I've done here as well. I shaded in just a little bit. And so since I pulled this side down, I need to pull this side down just a bit too. So we'll bring this down. So, does anyone have any hobbies? Like, what are y'all doing during this pandemic? I mean, I know everybody may be working, but are you doing anything else? Like hiking, biking, drawing? Just curious. What up, Greg? Yeah, man, my days have been just all blurry now. I was just saying, like, the shop is closed. So when a shop is closed and we're not really tattooing or doing anything, it's really hard to keep track of the days and stuff. So, but I like this piece a lot because of the armor. It almost seemed like the armor was alive or something. So, had a good feel to it. It almost had a feel of like, I think I was drawing something last week or the week before, and it felt like some alien type stuff. And the same with this dude's armor. It feels like some alien type stuff. Bunch of little things for me. Tried watercolors, knitting, canning, jelly, basically a bunch of. That's cool. How did the watercolors go? I'm like Robin Williams and Jumanji. Yeah, man, it's crazy, bro. I wish somebody would finish playing the game so all this can be over with. Go on and win already. I wouldn't mind seeing some of those watercolors of it. I kind of like watercolors because I can be as loose as I want with them. I've seen some people really really sharp with watercolors, and they make very hard lines. I mean, it's almost like they're really drawing with it. I mean, that's what they're doing, but I was never that patient with watercolors. I just really like when the paper's wet and you just dab the color in there and it kind of spreads out. That's what I like doing. A very disappointing duck. If you still got it, you should send it to me. I want to take a look at it. But yeah, watercolor is fun. I like it. I think for a lot of painting in general is why I don't do it, is because I don't like cleaning up. I like the process. I like getting out all the colors and actually doing it. But then, at the end of it, I got to clean all that stuff up. And I think that's why I don't do a lot of painting. I mean, I got tons of oil paints. I got tons of acrylic paints. I got watercolors. Now, I will say watercolor is probably the easiest to clean up because I have a little Windsor, I think it is. Hold on for a minute. Yeah, it's a little Windsor Newton set, and it's pretty cool. I like it. I'm not even sure if these are the right colors that belong in here, but so I got a big one. And I got a smaller set too. This is, I used to carry this with me and travel with it. Heck, as you can see, some of them still aren't even open. That one is still brand new. But these little sets are pretty cool. So I would get, when I would take this with me out, I would have like a little jug of water I would take with me, and just fill the water inside of here and just paint. I always thought it was cool that it was very compact, and it came with its own little brush that you could pull out the side here, and it's a decent brush. It's not like a crappy one. So, but yeah, it's my watercolor sets. But yeah, it's easy to clean up. I like it. Oil paint is probably the more tedious one. One, because the oils take a lot longer to dry. But the colors are so vibrant. There's just no denying it to me. And, it's just the stuff that it's made out of, the pigment and the powders, it just makes it the better color for whatever you're trying to do. But they can be a pain. And again, I'm still blocking stuff out, so see if I can tighten in so y'all can see kind of what I'm doing here. And why that got so loud, I have no idea. Just blocking stuff out here, looking at the shoulder pads, making sure I got enough space where things are supposed to be. So I'm using, again, reference points. So I'm pleased with his head and stuff, so I'm kind of using mainly this part here as my reference point. So like, I'm making sure I got enough distance from here to here, from here to up here. Like, so where does this point come across? And it actually comes a little below his eye, so it's kind of high. And that's another thing, like, okay, I'm looking at a reference, but I'm gonna still add me to it. So, I give the artist who made this credit, but now it's my interpretation or interpretation of what I see as an artist. So in a reference, the tip of his shoulder pads are a little below his eye, but mine is almost even. It's kind of a little low, but I think I'm fine with how tall that is right there. But if you remember, I moved this down some, so obviously the whole thing would need to move down, but I don't want to move the whole thing down because I like where the placement is right now, so I don't mind that that's a little higher. And again, I'm redrawing this, so I'm not, going for exact proportions and making sure it looks like a photocopy. One, that's just not my ministry, and that's a very tall task, very hard order to make sure you do. But I do think if you do just a good job, it'll look like what it, the reference. And then, like I said, you throw your own little stank on there, then it should be all right. So y'all can see what's happening. Okay, here, he's got a little point. Again, I'm holding the pencil way back here because I don't want these lines to be dark at all. Because this is not the final stuff. This is me sketching out and figuring out where things need to go. I'm trying to see what was the last movie I watched. I'm trying to see if I talked about this with y'all. Crawl. CRAWL, like crawl space. It was about this girl. She was in college or something, and she was a really good swimmer, and it was basically about her and her dad being trapped in a crawl space with these alligators. It was actually pretty decent. It was like a very expensive sci-fi channel show, but it had some good moments. All of the alligator eating scenes, it didn't look cheesy. So like I said, you could tell they had some money, but the story was actually decent. It was a whole father-daughter type thing, or reconciling and all that good stuff because they're about to get eaten. But hey, what's up, man? I'm glad you finally made it. Yeah, I'm trying to be here every Tuesday at 8:30, man. So I'm not sure if you were working or something, but this is where I'm usually at. But glad you can make it. So I think this part here is pretty difficult on even looking at the picture. I always seem to pick very detailed and, I don't want to say difficult, but maybe challenging is a better word. But I think I'm gonna come back up here and start messing with his face a little more detailed now. But and then I'll mess with this at another time, because that's oof. Let me grab a piece of paper. Hold on for a minute. Alright, so I grabbed just a regular piece of paper. I usually keep that so this hand doesn't start smearing that side there. Let me close these up real quick. Okay, like I said, I'm pretty happy with how the skull is looking right now. So I'm gonna go in and just define just a little more stuff here. I bought some pan pastel. I'm about to go home and make a mess. Hey, make that mess. I like it. What's the pastels for? Are you doing anatomy, or are you doing what are you drawing with them? And as you can see, I choked up on the pencil more. So when I was kind of doing this stuff here, I was holding the pencil back here, but as I'm starting to do these details, I choke up on the pencil. And again, sometimes I don't even know that I'm doing it. So it's kind of just like second nature now. You know, people always say it's like muscle memory or whatever. That's literally what it is for me. Portrait of my friend's new baby. Oh, well, tell your friend congratulations. I think I told y'all, or most of y'all know, I'm a grandfather now, so there's that. And see, I started pulling back out some a little bit because I'm starting to mess with the shading. And so as I'm doing it, I'm still blocking out all the shading and stuff that is about to be in this section here. So as I'm looking at this piece is definitely going to take some time. There's just no way around it. As I'm starting to get into the details, and I know me, it's definitely going to take a minute. Yeah, I graduated. And it's a cool feeling, you know. They are actually in Japan right now, so I hadn't met her yet. I don't know, when I draw skulls, because there are no lips to cover the teeth, one, I always do that mouth part last because it's just a weird feeling to me, if you will. And I'm not sure why. It looks weird. There's no lips to cover the teeth. So I usually just wait to do that part. I don't know why. But I do have it like sketched in, so I kind of know where that's going to go. So yeah, I'm pleased at where this is going. I'll pull out some. And so this is still really light. I'm taking my time now because, excuse me. You know where stuff is now, it needs to be accurate. Like I just can't randomly place stuff here and there. It needs to be at the right place. So I'm kind of again shaping the shadows now, the highlights and all that stuff. YouTube is asking if I'm still listening, and I am. Just keep playing, bruh, until I tell you to stop. Well, there is a bunch of stuff around teeth that is just missing. Lips, gums, tongue, cheek. All of that stuff is missing. And those are a big part of the face, so it makes sense. It would feel weird too. Yeah, and then it looks like it's smiling all the time. Just creepy. I like creepy stuff though, so I'm okay with it. And then I'll go back in here and make stuff darker where I see that it needs to be darker, lighter where it needs to be lighter. All right, sorry. I can feel me starting to zone out, and really, because when I start doing a lot of detail like this, it's probably more therapeutic for me. As I've been drawn for a long time now, I kind of know what works for me and what doesn't work, and I know when at the beginning I was like, I pick a lot of pieces that have a lot of detail, and as I look back on just other stuff that I've drawn, even in middle school and in high school, everything always had a lot of detail, and I would listen to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the actual soundtrack, and I would just be in my room in a whole nother zone. My mom would always, come in and be like, "Hey, it's getting late," and it would be 1, 2 in the morning, and I'd still be going, and I have to get up to go to school the next day. But I know for me, that was always very therapeutic for me. I think all this is dark. So I know when I get into a lot of these details and stuff, like if I start getting quiet, that's kind of what's happening. I'm starting to zone out a little bit. So I'll just go back and forth. I'll go one way with the hatching, and I'll come back and go another way. And then I'll probably just leave that for right now, because I don't want to keep going and something not be right. And then to get good blends, so I've been going kind of cross-hatchy style, and now I'll do some circles just to make a really smooth blend. So, and what the circles do, it helps take away the actual cross-hatching. It blends everything together. Have you ever been so swamped with commissions and barely had time to do what you? At one point I was, but now I kind of just take what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like at the beginning, yeah, I was always swamped with something, you know, and never had time to really. Like, this is something I want to do. This is no commission for anyone or nothing like that. I'll probably end up selling it, but this is just what I felt like doing. But yeah, at the beginning, I had to do everything. You know, I hate doing logos. I've done logos before. And I'm kind of getting to a point with tattooing right now. Like, I only need to do what I want to do. And that's kind of where, you know, as an artist, you kind of want to be. Like, you are known for what you're known for. And it just takes time, man. I've been freelancing and drawing and, you know, just working on me and my craft and my style and pitching what I do for a long time. I'll be 50 this year, so, and, you know, some people may make it work faster for them. I went to school, I had kids, I had other things happening, so it didn't happen as fast as I wanted to, but it is happening. But again, for me, it just took a while, you know what I'm saying? And I think majority of people, it takes a while, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you have to work another job or, you know, you just got other things in life that are happening. Sometimes you just have to take a minute for everything to come to, you know, what you've been wanting to do, stuff that you want to do. Like, if you just want to do anime stuff, or if you just want to do fantasy art, or if you want to be, you know, whatever the case is, it takes a while. And I think for most people, it takes a minute. There's no real easy way, or no quick fix, or no anything like that. It's a good feeling though. Because even now, like I was saying with tattoos, I'm at a point where I can almost say yes or no to certain things. But then if it's a yes and a client is like, I want this or that, right off the bat, I'm going to tell them, you know, that this is my style, this is how I do what I do, take it or leave it, you know. And most times people are like, oh, I've seen your style, I like what you do, you'll fit perfect for whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I just go on and do it, you know what I'm saying? put me into it to where one, it's fun for me to do, but they like my work. So like I said, I'm almost there, but it took me a minute. Like I had to do a lot of tattoos that I didn't want to do, and it just takes time, man. That's all. It's nice when you get to that point where folks come to you. That's very nice. And then you can kind of, call the shots for the most part. And then there's like no pressure too, like as far as what the expectations are, right? Because I think Michelle, when I did the piece for you, when David asked me to draw the Sauron piece, he knew what I did, and he just was like, draw that. And I mean, that was like freedom, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can just do what you want to do. It's cause what you do, Now, if he was like, yeah, I want Sauron drawn this way, and I want it oil painted or something, my first thing would be like, man, I'm gonna send you to someone else who does painting, or you know what I'm saying, like, because it's just not what I do. Or if he wanted it in just a different style, you know what I'm saying, like, it's a really good space to be in. I can't wait to get to that space. I'm like the only artist in my family, and everybody wants to come to me. Yeah, I mean, that's all the time, man. You're just not going to get around that. To this day, I still have my cousins and everybody like either want a tattoo or want me to do some logo stuff. And honestly, for the most part, I tell them no. Because one is something that I don't want to do, And if it's a tattoo or something, it's like, hey, look at what I've been doing. That's what you're going to get in that type of style and that type of work. If you want something different, I got other people that I know that are better than me at whatever that other style is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always tell people, because they always want me to do portraits. And that's just not my cup of tea. Now, I can draw portraits, and I can tattoo them. But one, I tattoo portraits of things that I know I could draw really well. Because a tattoo is something that you don't want to mess around with. Like, I don't want to do somebody's grandmother and it end up looking like Yoda. That's just, it's not a good look for anyone. So I know my strengths and weaknesses, and my family still comes at me with the same stuff, and I'm just like, I'm not doing that. Like, stop asking. So, but yeah, family, they're gonna come at you all the time, man. And you know, you'll just have to at some point be like, nah, I'm not doing that. And then, you know, you got family that don't want to pay you with, you know, your worth and all that stuff. So it's a pain, man. I get it. That's why I don't deal with family like that. Because then they get all offended, and then you got that to deal with. As far as my family, anyway. I love them, don't get me wrong. But I think that's about it, y'all. As you can see, just drawing his face took a good hour, and I'm still not finished with the face. So I know this is going to be a piece that takes a good minute to get the detail and the level of professionalism, I guess, that I want to get done on this piece. It's going to take a minute. So if I don't finish it by this week or by the weekend, we'll probably, there'll be a lot more done, but we'll probably pick this back up next week. But yeah, I just love the detail. I love, you know, zoning out. I put some music on and have my drinks and just do what I do. I got a lot to do, and right now I'm going to try an hour. Yeah, man. And don't be afraid to take a break. You know what I'm saying? Breaks are a good thing. You know, kind of look at your schedule. You know, only you know kind of what your day to day is like, in your week to week or whatever. But you know, plan that stuff out accordingly. You know. And for me, I always feel like writing stuff down is a lot better than me just trying to think about it, or even digitally doing it. Like, physically writing stuff down helps me better. But yeah, you know, figure it out, get a schedule, and be like, all right, you know, I'm gonna just take a break. Finish up, if you got some commissions on deck or whatever, finish those up. You know, even if you have to email a client or something, be like, hey, you know, I just need a mental break. Just tell the people. You know, most people understand. So tell them you need a break, man. And then come back with some fresh eyes, some fresh hands, and then knock that stuff out. You know, sometimes you don't get to take a break, but you know, find some time to take a break. Pillows. I love and adore your art and anime skills. Appreciate you. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for hanging out, man. I will see y'all next Tuesday, 8:30. Same bad time, same bad channel.